Dr. Mark Cooper again, and this is Sunday morning on a cold, wintry day. And my patients that I see have asked me just to help them figure out healthy meals. So we've been doing that a little bit for breakfasts, but now it's the winter months, and they asked me about some soups or something they can make up so it makes it easier to get something going. They can eat on it for 3 to 4 days, so you're not having to always prepare a meal. Because one of the complaints I have about the program I do on fibromyalgia and arthritis and the anti-inflammatory diet is that, well, I don't know how to do that. And, you know, it's easier to go out and eat fast. So today I'm going to cook a soup that I happen to like, which is actually a potato and kale soup. And I picked this up from other information off the internet from time to time and then added my own tweak to it. And again, you're going to be able to do what you want to do as well with it. So I'm going to start off here with some bacon. I've got gout, and as you've probably seen from other videos, and so I can't use too much of this at a time. But if you're a vegetarian and you don't want to use this, you don't have to. So I'm just cutting up little pieces of this. That would cut off. And bacon. I use scissors, this is easier. It's cooking scissors. Okay. Then I've also, you got 3 choices on oil again. You got the coconut oil, you got the avocado oil, and you got the olive oil. I like using different ones for different things. I like eggs in this. I like to cook my meat. If I'm using meat, I'll use it. Or vegetables, I put some of that. Sometimes I make cornbread and make it with that coconut oil. We're cooking a little bit of bacon, getting it going. We'll give you a wooden spatula here. I'll cook that down. That's just going to give it a little bit of flavor. And while that's doing, I'm going to chop up some. I mean, I always use a lot of celery in soups. Some people don't like it, but if you can use it, it's just going to be healthier. We'll make the soup. I use about 3 stalks of celery. About that much. About 3 stalks of celery. I'm going to put that in a separate bowl. I'm going to get me an onion over here. Now, a key to me is I'm a morning person. And man, it just makes a big difference if you just get something done in the morning and you're over with it. But if you wait till 4 o'clock and try to fix a meal, it's just pretty difficult. I can't do this during the day. I mean during the week because I'm working at the office. But on the weekends, I can get something like this done, set it there, and I can eat on this for 2 to 3 days. It really makes life a lot easier. You just got to know your ingredients. I love the way bacon smells in the morning. It smells like I'm on a campfire or something. Okay. I'm going to throw this onions in there now. That's 1 onion. Okay. This is how I like the onions and the celery to cook a little bit before I put everything else in there. Then I'm going to put the celery in there. And let that be simmering there. Got to wash these 3 carrots. And the way I do it, instead of peel them, I just scrape them. Cut the ends off. That'll be ready to cook. Come here and smell how that smells already. That smells pretty good, Nathan. I'm not going to add those carrots in there yet, okay? I'm going to wait on that. I like to put the carrots in because I like them kind of crispy and just use them to cook with. And put this up. We'll get the potatoes ready to go. Now I like to, when I'm peeling potatoes, I'm not going to use all these, but I like to put a piece of paper down, paper towel or an old newspaper or something. And that way I just roll them right up and it's a little easier to clean up. You could use sweet potatoes, okay? Some people are sensitive to white potatoes in the first place. But white potatoes, there's 2 things about white potatoes. White potatoes really are still an alkaline food. So when they digest, they produce an alkaline reserve, and actually that's beneficial. So in most alternative strategies for helping people fight cancer, white potatoes are still used. But sweet potatoes, but they have a glycemic index of about 98. Sweet potato has a glycemic index around 65 by recollection. But you might want to check me on that. So it's a lot less problematic. But when you're adding all these other things into something like we're doing, it's not going to be quite so bad even for diabetics or pre-diabetics. But you might want to consider using sweet potatoes for this. I like the onions to begin to get a little bit clear. We call it translucent. And that's looking pretty good. You can use more bacon if you like that flavor, but if you're vegetarian, you probably don't want to do that, but you can do without it. I just like the bacon flavor, and I'm not going to put enough in there to make my gout flare up. But the advantage, you get this done, and you got something to eat on for a few days, and then you make you a little grilled cheese sandwich to go with it, or something else, you know, if you need to. And then I'm going to show you a cracker here in just a second that I like to use instead of wheat. Okay, there's that. We're ready to put this stuff together. I think that's cooked enough to be good. And see, now we're going to add this organic vegetable broth. Some people like the chicken broth. I typically use 1 box of this and then use water for the rest of it. Okay, we'll just add these other in there. Oh, by the way, watch this. That's how easy this cleans up. We just roll that up. You don't have to mess with the cabinet so much. We'll add these all in there. I'm gonna have to add a little bit more water here, maybe some more of that. I only had a half a can, but I got another one in the can there. I'm gonna add the carrots now. Okay. Vegetable stock. Another thing that makes this really healthy, remember we're trying to make everything alkaline, and with most of my patients, is that when I analyze their diet has hardly any greens in it. They may eat, in Tennessee, they eat green beans. I said, what about collard greens, mustard greens, and kale? Well, they don't eat as much of that stuff. And you need to find ways to put the greens in your diet, because greens actually are a better source of calcium that your body absorbs than taking the calcium pills. In fact, I typically don't tell people to take too much calcium. I think calcium in the pill form, especially, is a little hard to digest, especially if you're taking something like Prilosec or one of the proton pump inhibitors. Then they actually inhibit your body's ability to absorb that stuff. So those minerals. And so typically you're not getting it. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on trying to get more green foods in your diet. That's why I put the celery in the eggs, if you watch the other video. And that's why I'm putting celery in here, and also these greens. Now what I usually do is rinse them off a little bit, and I'll cut out part of that stem. But I'll use a big wad like this. You can use some of the stems, the smaller ones, but the bigger ones I think are a little bit bitter. I like to cut all that stuff up and just throw it in there. My experience with my patients, they don't, when they make potato soup or they make any kind of soups, they never put anything like kale in it. This is such a good, it's so healthy for you. You want to try to get it in as much as you can. This sort of covers up the taste anyway, so you don't taste it as bad. Some people don't like the taste of kale. I like it better than collard greens and mustard greens. Well, this cooks down quite a bit, so you think I'm putting a lot in there, but it kind of disappears. See, we're almost done. We did that almost from front to start in about 15-20 minutes is all. We got to add a few spices in there. That's going to be good. It's going to be very healthy. You can eat them for 3 or 4 days. You don't have to be waiting on anybody to fix something. You get a bowl whenever you want it, after it gets heated up. I'll tell you, this pan I got here, I don't know, we must have got it for a wedding gift many years ago, but boy, it's the best cooking pot for soups that I've ever seen. Another key to me that makes some of this taste good is that I like this Old Bay seasoning. I'm gonna put about a tablespoon in there, or a rounded tablespoon. Not that much. There you go. I got some 6 pepper. I'm gonna put a little that 6 pepper on there. You can add cilantro to this if you like cilantro. But we just about got this ready to just sit and not do anything. I mean, it's ready to just sit and cook for a couple hours on low. I'm gonna put some regular pepper in there. Sea salt. We're done. Now, I will say one other thing that some people do. Okay, this is that if you wanted it to have a creamier looking texture to it, there's 2 ways to do that. Some people get a little flour and mix it up in some water and put it in here, and that'll give it a little more white look to it if you like that. I don't typically use any flour, much regular flour, because I think some of the genetically modified flours cause arthritis. But you could use kuzu root. Kuzu is kudzu. You can buy, and it's made by Eden. You can just take a few packs of this and stir it up, or maybe some arrowroot. And you can mix it in some water and add it to this, and that'll give it a more milky looking texture, okay? Or another option, and I might do this later, you do this later, is you take some of this, the whole mixture out, okay? You take about 2 to 3 cups out and you put it in a little blender like a NutriBullet. You grind that up and you pour it back in, and that gives it a little bit more of a milky look. So, and you can add that back to it. That's another strategy to kind of just give it a little bit different texture. To serve it, you can chop up cilantro. Actually, you can put in some grated cheese on top of it and add that on top when you serve it in the first place. But we're done. We're ready. All right, I hope this is helpful to you. Oh, the temperature that I usually cook it on at first is a little higher, okay? But then I turn it down to low, let it simmer. I'm gonna leave this cooking, and I sort of test the potatoes with a fork or the carrots, and so when they're kind of soft, then we're done. Because most things are cooked. See, now I can eat probably 6 or 7 meals off of this, so I don't have to worry about cooking it the last minute. Anyway, this is Dr. Mark Cooper. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I'll see you another time.